Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday again. Hope your week is off to a fantastic start. Mine is. I did not post a Sacred Soul session yesterday intentionally. I feel guided to just take some time. I've been preaching about taking time to rest and rejuvenate and regenerate. And Sunday was supposed to be, it always has been, since I've been spiritual a certain type of way, that time for rest and relaxation. And I just felt guided to hold fast to that, at least for this month. I actually at first just thought I was taking off this past Sunday, but then something said, you might want to just chill out at least for the rest of the holiday season. I may come back just in time before we cross over into the new year, or may just start fresh off in the new year altogether. So I do encourage you, if you haven't tapped into my Sacred Soul sessions, which formerly were Sunday Soul Sessions, but I got inspired to change the name. It's the thumbnail with the white background in my timeline. So if you're interested, they're timeless. They still are quite relevant and interesting to tap into. I definitely encourage you to do so. And then lastly, I am open for spiritual questions at this time, one or two, one for 25, two for 44. Just for the month of December as it stands right now. If you're interested, that information will also be in the description box below with directions on how you can inquire and the exchange and all that good stuff. So again, just for December. So I guess I released one devotion and picked up another because I haven't been open for personal readings for a very long time, it seems to me at this point now. So I feel guided to open up for this season. And I hope that if you value my exchange, that you take advantage of it. But either way, here we are with the message. Did I cut these cards? Yeah, I did. So let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Okay, Eight of Wands. This is fast communication, movement, action, an infusion of energy. You may become particularly excited or induced with the ambition that seems to come out of nowhere, passion that comes out of nowhere. You feel a certain inspiration that seems to come out of nowhere, or an expansion of inspiration on something small. That literally happened to me this morning in meditation. So it could come through very quiet and unsuspecting moments as such. Or it just could come as you're on the go, or it could come as you're watching something or engaging with another friend. It actually came for me as a thought about an exchange with someone else, but it came through meditation in a different way. And it was like so empowering. It just was one of those things that made it all make sense, for me and for where the trajectory that I'm headed on. So I pray that you receive, that you're open to receive, first and foremost, that type of vitality. And again, it can come in so many different ways, for so many different things. For me, it was like a creative inspiration, but also very purposeful. And it drove some passion in me to connect to something that I kind of pushed off to the side, and now it's like, what? Oh, wow. And it's connected. It's literally all the dots connected, this gets to do that, and then that, and then that, and then that. So, that's the type of energy that's available in the realm right now. I don't think I know, as a matter of fact, especially leading with this card, that it's not exclusive to me and the experience that I had just today. I probably had that experience to connect with this energy in this way, to express to you that if you're receiving that, first of all, to be on the lookout for it and be open to it. But if you're receiving that, allow it to consume you in a high vibrational way. Don't necessarily feel like you got to go run out and act on it, because after I received all this, I was like, okay, now what? And to be honest with you, I don't exactly have the answer to that just yet, So it's like as much of the downloads that I received in this big picture, even small picture form, still there may be some unfolding, and maybe that's the next part, who knows, but there still is some unfolding needed for me to put this plan into action. Like, what literally is the next step that I take? So if you're feeling a heightened inspiration, be with that gracefully and allow it to be with you without feeling particularly anxious to force anything in one direction or another, because it could very well be that there's still some more information or an additional download that gets to come through to make that transition or that ambition a smooth manifestation. Sometimes we get it and then we run with it and it's like, oh man. And then later on the download comes and it would have made everything so much easier, which I think I've spoken about before in this full moon season that we're in. And we are vastly approaching the new moon on the 12th or 13th, I believe it is. Coincidentally, Mercury retrograde goes into full effect on the 12th. We're already in pre-shadow, so there's that aspect as well, that there might still be, that's our processor, the truth teller, the intel, the mechanism by which we process intel and make it clear for our own understanding to then put the thing into play. As I said before, I don't really think that this retrograde is going to be like ones in the past. I think we're in a new shift of energetic force cosmically and in this realm, but with all things, even while we're in the pre-shadow, if you're embarking on a new venture, you're starting a new project, you're entertaining the possibility of a new connection platonically, intimately or professionally, read the fine print. Scrutinize every line. Make sure you understand and don't feel incited to rush any agreement or investment or commitment in any way, shape, and form. If there's a push for you to rush, that's almost a red flag in itself to slow down and really consider what it is you're engaging yourself with. Scrutinize every single item line. If you can't do it, get a professional that you trust, mind you, to help you with that. And also even within the fine print of documents and scrutinizing the commitments and contracts, you then also want to tap into your spiritual force, that emotional intelligence that is leading you even beyond the practical and the actual, to say, I don't know if this is the right time, or I don't know if this is the right deal, this is the right person, this is the right commitment, this is the right place, this is the right action. Follow your spirit even still, because at this point in time, there should be more or less a synergy between the two if you've been working in a certain way, especially if you're privy to the energy such as this with the Eight of Wands, this surge of ambition and excitement coming through the realm. That means it's here for a reason. It's an empowering for a reason, to either prepare you to propel forward or to prepare you to receive something important and know exactly what to do with it or how to respond to it. So you've already been empowered. You've been working in a certain vibration to be a match for this alignment. Trust your gut in that regard. That's your backup plan. Shoot, that may be the forward plan, to be honest with you. I can't even say backup. Heart and mind work in tandem in this season, and perhaps forevermore. Like moving forward, that's the vibes, And here is, of course, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen Pen, the most productive and prosperous queen in the deck, next to the Empress, who's productive and prosperous and powerful in her own right. This is the expression of the queen aspect of the Empress, where you're extremely productive and materially sound, like secure in your financial force, whether that be in a physical sense, is about the currency, the curation of your own currency, and how exactly what the value of that is by way of, almost the gold reserve that you have personally, and in this regard, energetically, with the Queen of Pentacles. How we used to be measured by the gold, by our gold reserves. Our money was measured by that. The energetic force of the Queen of Pentacles is that measurement, how she values herself. And it ties into exactly what I was saying about being very intentional about scrutinizing the commitments that you make, the investments that you're open to one way or the other. Knowing that where you put your money is just as much of an impact, or energy or time or attention has just as much of an impact externally as it does internally. It's a two-way exchange. So you have to be just as careful as your output as you are your input at this time. And the Queen of Pentacles is not the Queen of Pentacles for nothing. She's like I said, you've already been tried and true. You've been cultivated a certain way, productively and prosperously, to know a good investment when you see it. Maybe perhaps having made several bad ones. Nothing can teach you but a fail. Nothing teach you better than a failure. If you look at it even that way. But to have an unfavorable experience is sometimes even more wisdom inducing, or enlightening, I guess I should say, than to have done nothing but win your entire life. You know what I mean? So you can hone in on those accounts as well to help you discern, those past experiences, maybe not necessarily taking them as absolute truth, because we are in a new space and time, and you are even new with the expression of the Queen of Pentacles. You have great value to offer and have, acquired, if not in a material sense, there's some level of prestige that you have acquired in perhaps just how you carry yourself. As I'm speaking of the Queen of Pentacles as a high value woman or man, of course the Queen is a woman, but this energy can translate in a masculine form if you connect to it that way. It's knowing that you are an attractive force for wealth, that money is an energy and it needs you. You don't need it. It flows through you and is attracted to you based on that, again, that gold reserve that you maintain, the value of your money mentality. So and look, this is that energy here, like I said, masculine or feminine. This is that energy here, just being an expectation for good things to materialize because you've planted good seeds. That's what the Queen of Pentacles does. She's planted good personal seeds and cultivated a high value in herself. She's, pretty much like scrubbed herself to be a vibrational match for prosperity. And so she can really look forward to it at every turn. She can have great expectations for it to be returned to her. Having a certain level of integrity with money and resources, that's too many, finances, and your time, your energy, your focus, your attention. Not just even what you sow into, but who, even the people that you may have helped along the way or supported in some way, shape, or form. That's still a lot. All right, come on, Spirit. Let's get to it now. All right, yep, so we got the Five of, what's this? This is some competition, perhaps over that value, over your competing for your attention is what I just heard. Perhaps for resources too, for that stable force and security that you are, like competing to be attached to it. But I really heard very clearly competing for your attention. But again, like it's all one and the same, right? As I've said, like the attention is part of that gold reserve, wherever it's like her energetic attention is just as prospering and productive as actually giving money, or even time. It's like whatever she averts her attention to, or her force field to, has the potential to grow in some way, shape, or form, or maybe has the potential to grow greater than it may have yielded on its own, so hence why, of course, there would be a heightened competition. And these are a lot of masculine, so maybe a lot of men competing for an opportunity, or feeling that there is a competition to be in alignment or agreement, whether it be professionally, intimately, or platonically, with this vitality. It's like it's a hot commodity. You're a hot commodity. That's what I hear. Like, you as the Queen of Pentacles, you could be filthy, stinking rich, or have 25 cents in the bank right now. But there's something about you in this position, having the self-awareness and assuredness that you are highly valued, because that's the thing about the Queen of Pentacles, as I've kind of said over and over again. It's like she has like growing hands, the Midas touch, perhaps you could even say it, which is why it could be masculine or feminine. It's like there's something fertile about her force, that when she connects to a thing, it might just be by way of having an idea that expands an idea and makes it fruitful, or the investment of her goodwill toward, or even like to feel the favor is what I'm feeling, like her good favor toward a thing. Like, she may not have anything of value to add to it in a practical sense, but to believe in a thing, an idea, a passion, is what these energies are here for. Is sometimes can be something that makes all the difference. Like, consider some of the best investments you've ever made, or that have ever been made into you, is just like an encouraging word, like somebody to believe in the vision that you have, or believe that in your potential, or the possibility of whatever it is that you're envisioning for yourself. That can go a hell of a long way, especially in the world that we live in today, where everybody's competing to prove themselves to themselves by way of two other people, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of crashing and burning happening in this realm on account of this energy alone. And this is someone that somehow stays above the fray and still finds value not in just the projection of her prosperity potential, but certainly from the present position of grace and gratitude for who she is, what she's capable of, and what she has on hand right now. That's like invaluable essence right there. So this is the energy out here of people that either want to be aligned with that, or in some ways, the Tower is here, that want to manipulate that, or, consume it. I would say even with the Wand energy, sometimes it's about conquering, territory, that maybe just are a bit possessive in some way, shape, or form. And that's perhaps why there's a Tower energy here, where like nobody that's in this vibration is going to have the privilege or the honor, because it's too much territorialism involved. This is independence right here with the Queen of Pentacles. She's not to be owned or manipulated or monopolized by anyone, because she's the reason why her harvest is as plentiful as it is. So she's the one that decides whom she gets to share it with. Anybody that thinks they have privilege in that field, or that has a entitlement to that court, is already playing themselves, pretty much. It's not pure, it's not grounded energy. And so it's most likely, for a Queen of Pentacles in a high vibration, is something that's not going to be well connected with. Yeah, like, look, we got the Queen. Now, this is another one. Now, it's funny because he is on the outside looking in. Well, he's on the outside of this, And I don't know why that is, because he's on the outside of this competition here, but everything that I just said can be the essence of the King of Wands. Very territorial, a bit obsessive or possessive, more in the lower vibration. But here's this Nine of Swords here that's kind of projecting something that could be lower vibrational of this King of Wands particularly. And y'all know I loves the King of Wands, but the energy here is like he's sitting on the outside looking into the competition, but in essence he has the same wand that they have, you know, and his eyesight, his focus is like looking above the fray to the Queen of Pentacles now. And with the only thing that's throwing me off, if it was a higher vibrational card here, then I would say that he's above the competition clearly and knows that, which is why he's on the outside. But what's the Nine of Swords for? Why the anxiety, the eagerness? Let's see. That energy is not in alignment with the true nature. Yeah, and look at this, Ten of Swords. Oh, interesting. That energy is not really in alignment with the true nature of the King of Wands, to be anxious and eager about anything. He's confident, he's bold, he is aggressive in his ambitions in a stabilized way as the king. But it's because, you know, he has a certain, you know, confidence in whatever he visualizes is his objective ambition, the objective of his ambition. But I see this competition in the middle of that here. The Queen of Pentacles is clearly the optical focus here. But the King of Wands, it's like this energy is almost trying to pull him in a different direction, and he's still looking at this competition. Maybe there's something missing as to why he's not realizing that. It's like he don't quite realize that he is above the competition, that he don't even have to fight no more with this Ten of Swords. You know, his time on the battlefield has come to an end to some degree, and it's been a brutal one now with the Ten of Swords, but it is the end with the 10. But it's been brutal. It's been a lot of betrayal and sabotage and a great casualty. Perhaps it's his mind with the sword energy. His mind, it's like he's sitting in all the energy of the King of Wands, but mentally he's still seeing himself as a part of the fray. That's misaligned. And that's this energy here with the Eight of Wands. It's like almost trying to pull him into the reality of his true essence, you know, and it feels like a pulling away from the objective, but it's probably a pulling away. We're going to see in a minute, a pulling away to revitalize and reassure, you know, that you're looking at the wrong thing. They are set for this, you know, they're still fighting to relieve themselves of this energy here, like really sabotaging themselves because the mentality is still off balance to believe that this is a competition at all, you know, like they have any entitlement at all. And that Nine of Swords, oh, okay, we went from the Nine of Swords, which was the anxiety. So yeah, it's like still holding on to that eagerness about what could potentially, yeah, that's what the Nine of Swords is about, what's the possibility of a future occurrence that hasn't even really happened yet. So maybe even afraid to be sabotaged again, as has happened in the past, and not seeing that there is an exaltation beyond this potential because of being outside of the fray, not choosing not to participate in this vibration here, like be a part of the rat race, be one of the boys, like just having a DICK measuring contest. It's like some action was taken to stay outside of that energetic force, and perhaps he's not even knowing that the action that was taken was exactly what was necessary to give him more access to this potential energy than it necessarily needs to be through by way of, like, it's like somebody that is used to fighting all the time, not realizing they don't have to do that anymore. You know, like they used, like all my life I had to fight type of energy, not realizing that because they've chosen not to do that, not to fight, to stand their ground on their own energetic vitality, it actually has like exalted their force that much greater with exerting less physicality. If that makes sense, it's like it's much more channeled than it is in the cards right now, because I can feel this energy. And and I get it, you know, in the terms of how it's a mismatch with, like I said, that's not the energy of the upright King of Wands, to feel like they gotta fight through anything or be anxious for anything. Like they step on the scene confident, you know, courageous, ready to conquer, not worrying about look. And that's exactly. So here's that independence again, just solidifying what I said. And this is that energy here. The limitation that's being projected to him. But it's because he's looking, his focus is misaligned. You know, his attention is in the wrong place. It's like he's seeing his way to the prize as he's seeing that this is he's got to get through this energy to get to the prize. And the spirit is like, no, you don't. Let them do what they doing. Like, let them fight in the street. I'll take you this way. This is a faster way, because the Eight of Wands is like fast. It's almost instantaneous. It's, you know, uncontainable. It's supernatural force. You know, thinking perhaps that he still got so much to do. Look, and the World card tried to peek out. Yeah, it's like over for that energy. Thinking there's still so much to do to prove self to be advanced, not to necessarily join the fight and join, you know, the BS as what they're doing, but like it feels more like an inner conflict, you know, with the King of Wands. Like, what more, how must I prove myself to myself? As I said before, they're doing it, but they're doing it through the projection of each other, with how the world sees them, how their peers see them, how society views them, what's projected to them to be. That's the motivation of the fight here. And then that personification of prosperity or success, that's what's being fought for. The King of Wands is kind of beyond that. He don't really care. That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't really care about what society thinks of him. He doesn't care about his peers. He doesn't care about tradition or convention, so to speak. He's not disabled by it, you know. He accepts that he's different, you know, but for some reason there's still something being projected that I feel like makes him feel like it's almost too easy. It can't be this easy to just believe a thing and be a thing. To believe for, you know, a certain connection or a certain even new life, you know, not having to fight. Like I said, you know, when you're conditioned to have to get through the fray, perhaps he's always, you know, those types of dudes where they always gotta, this is like one of the boys where they always gotta be on guard, even around their own boys, because they know that there's a tinge of jealousy or competition. He ain't competing with them. He cool, you know what I mean? He knows who he is, and he even appreciates who they are. But you know, when you're in those friend groups where it's like, you almost have to like kind of bend your will and cater to the energy that you're surrounded by. Like, they the homies, they the girlfriends, it's the family, it's, you know, people you've grown up with. But you know, you can sense the vibration of competition under the surface. Like, people would at a moment's notice, as much as they love to have you around, they also kind of want to be better than you too. That there's more for them to gain from feeling like they're better than you could ever care to be compared to them. You know what I mean? It's that energy. So always having to kind of be on guard that although you kind of come ready-made as the King of Wands to a certain degree, you kind of always got to be defensive, got to be watching your back, got to be on the lookout for the ambush, or especially with the Ten of Swords coming out, got to be on the lookout for the betrayal. Like, as much as you want to give from your passionate and compassionate side, you still kind of got to watch out for those demons, within people that they may or may not even know that they are attached to, or that are attached to them. That's what it's giving me. Still kind of keep one eye open for that demonic force, those demonic attachments that rear their ugly head whenever you try to step out and do something courageous. Like, this is somebody that would probably dumb himself down, or just, I wouldn't say it like that, but like subdue their passion and their light. Like, they could be so much greater than what they even are, but because of who they're around, they have to kind of like make adjustments, so not to put themselves in harm's way, or position themselves to be a target of jealousy or envy, or, like I said, just unnecessary competition. So just somebody that may not even share all their wins or all their ambitions or their hopes and dreams, or definitely probably don't want to share no particular object of affection, as such as the Queen of Pentacles. And she's a single gal too with the Nine of Pentacles. It's like trying to keep one eye on them, one eye on her, and still trying to figure out how he can elevate himself to a point of pure confidence to know that he's worthy. Okay, because that's the energy. Queen of Pentacles is, again, high value woman here. So having all the passion in the world, but still wanting to be sure that his value is a match, and not seeing or completely, I would say more so accepting the signs that seem almost too good to be true, that spirit itself is confirming his value. Like, you don't have to do what they do. I've already ordained you in a different way. Maybe it don't look like the King of Pentacles, which you think would be a better match for her, or whatever other ideal expression of a divine man or a high value man you think would be a better, because see, it's heavy on the pentacles over here. So maybe it could be someone that doesn't have a whole lot of resources at this time, but they got a whole lot of passion and ambition and drive. And like I said before, even with the Queen of Pentacles, she might not have a lot of resources, but her investment of energy is invaluable, it's priceless. So it's the difference between the two is that she knows that he may still be coming to that realization, because this is almost like the reflective expression of him. Like, all this energy, as a matter of fact, is almost like coming from him, if you get into it, from a divine source, but certainly that he's a receptor, if not a conduit, of this type of force, and just not even realizing it, because it's too much projection. Like, people trying to interfere with the fact that cycles of old have completely closed, so that he could actually see his present state of being in this moment. That you done surpassed that, my guy. Like, you off the block, you out the hood, even if you ain't physically, like mentally, spiritually. Look at this motherfucker, look at this. Exactly. And with the Moon card here, it's definitely something funny going on here with these energies with the 5. Yeah, this is nothing good. Like I said, it's projective, but it's even deeper than that with the Devil card and the Moon and competition. This is like I was saying before about how you could be around the homies and you have the best intentions for them, but they don't have the best intentions for you, or that there's just something dark, deep within their psyche that they're contending with. Sometimes even with jealousy, when it's projected toward another person, which is one of those spiritual energies that's just like, you can't do nothing about that. You can't cure that for nobody. You can't curb it. that has to be something that's healed from within, from a foundational point, personally, for that person that's projecting it. So it's like, you can do the best that you can, which is probably what his intentions were, to kind of like subdue your passion and your force, to not be so amazing as the King of Wands can just naturally be. We talking Leo energy here. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, just naturally fiery, energetic, enthusiastic, exciting, just naturally. It's just innate. They can't even help it. That's just their come from, of course, depending on your other aspects. But for the most part, if you have some fire highly aspected in your chart, you just come with a certain vibrancy that is undeniable, and for as much as people, like I said, love to be connected to it, love to be around it, love to even benefit from it, sometimes it can also be intimidating. And when you have the energy such as competition, which in this translation is given envy vibes, at least maybe not, I can't even say that, because at first it was like, well, maybe they don't mean to be, but it's just within them. This is like the intention of sabotage here. And then with that 10 of Swords that we saw, that means that there is the intention, potential, and perhaps even the engagement already of some diabolical plan to obstruct the King of Wands prosperity and productivity. They don't want him to be he is like, you got enough already. What more you need? How much greater do you need to be? Some perhaps for the purpose, I feel like everybody has their own ulterior motive, and this might not be the homies exclusively. It could be family, it could be an array of friends in different genders, it could be partners, like intimate partners. It could even be business professionals where they see the potential of someone to advance in a certain craft or a certain field, and they want to stop that because they're afraid that if he advances in one particular way, that's the demise for them, when there's enough for everybody. We know the real, those that know in a higher vibration, just as the Queen of Pentacles knows her value. She's not in competition with anybody else because she doesn't need to be. She stands on her own. Whether she has a hell of a lot of material to show for it or not, she knows her worth. This is the crossover moment for this King of Wands of him. It's like him just turning his head 180 degrees is going to show him exactly all of his worth and potential. It will be undeniable to him and to everyone else, and it's like some energy in his force field, energies perhaps, are wanting to delay and deny that advancement. With the Devil card here, what's this? Yeah, and he's having to defend himself, or maybe I feel like he's been knowing that he's had to defend himself. And this is the Knight of Swords, like, yeah, entitlement. Again, I was speaking about this, the entitlement of people wanting to connect to your energy, whatever that may be. It's like maybe they both are in that are in that in the way of that energy, this energy here that feels like, no, you belong to me, or he's my friend. Look at this. But bringing this all along, meaning no good whatsoever, just don't want this energy to prosper at all. Individually or collectively, don't want that to prosper because they feel they'll be left behind. That's crazy. So I feel like there's been energy projected in a practical and a mystical way with this Moon card here and the Devil card. That could be some coven of sorts, or the group of, like I said, this group of individuals that are connected to either vibration that's just been hyperactive and causing disturbances and disruptions and illusions and confusions and limitations on the coming, literally being in the middle of a coming together and an advancement for perhaps of the two of them in some regard. And this is like the marriage of prosperity and passion. It's like literally having the best of both worlds, to have the resources and support and security to do what you love, and to do what you love in a way that continues to solidify the resources and the security. It's like literally a win-win situation. So even if these aren't, and that was the Four of Wands, that stability. So even if these aren't actual people, this is that force, maybe perhaps within you, of, like I said, with the Queen of Pentacles and this independence vibe, it's like literally being able to support yourself, but also being a magnetic force for prosperity to just kind of find you, and opportunities to find you, good partnerships to find you, good people to find you, ideas, as I had that big download today, to find their way to you somehow, some way. And then this is like the ambition, the drive, the confidence, the courage, the boldness, the enthusiasm to, remember I was saying I'm not quite sure the action, here's the interference, right? Because this is the proactive aspect. This is more the reactive and reproductive aspect. But this could all even just be collectively in my experience just today that I shared, because nothing is coincidence, right, that I say. That this is the energy trying to interfere with this union, this marriage of the two forces, literally yin and yang, but of two different type of vitalities, Ace of Swords, truth, clarity. It's like having the clairvoyance, the revelation, and having the ambition and the drive, just needing the clear direction, and that's what is trying to be interfered with. But it's just, Seven of Swords, it's not going to happen. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. Because first of all, these energies, and here's the Queen of Wands, these energies are going to pretty much burn themselves out trying to move against natural order. Look, and here's the sun. Wow, look at that. The moon and the sun. These, it's going to be, first of all, their efforts are going to be exposed for exactly what they are, for exactly who they are, their motivations, their tactics, everything that's needing to be known. With that Ace of Swords too, coming off the fringe of that, however there was collaboration and celebration on account of this disturbance is going to be exposed, and the prospect, like I said, it cannot be stopped. This is divine order. This is natural order. This is pure light right here. There'll be Seven of Swords again. There'll be celebration for all the right reasons, as a matter of fact. Hella choices, and it's going to illuminate the right choices, is what I'm hearing. It's going to shed light on the illusions. Remember I said, like, he's having a hard time really seeing his focus. Like, no, come over here. This is your way. You above that. You don't have to do those things. You don't have to play those games. You never did. You never did, and you never will, as long as you choose not to. This is having the clarity of those choices, and the light of the sun, the natural light, the supreme life force, shining light on exactly what is the best option to take and the best move to make amidst a great deal of, remember I was talking about this infusion of inspiration, look, and knowing like exactly which one to reject and which one to receive. That's so important right now, just as it is for the investments of the Queen of Pentacles in a material sense. This is talking about spiritual energy, which it all comes back to, comes from and comes back to. Knowing what is in alignment with your spiritual force, what adds value to it, what taints it, what nourishes it, what infuses it with something extremely vitalizing at this point. There's a whole hell of a lot more out there that you wouldn't want to indulge in than that you would in this realm, unfortunately. That's just what it is. And sometimes it's hard to see the truth for the fog, because what sometimes looks like a good time is an illusion. What looks like the way, it even is how it's projected in our daily life, that everybody's it's like a dog eat dog world, and you got to beat out your competition and prove yourself to be the top dog. And there's only but so many positions and resources and opportunities for so many. And, you kind of have to do what you got to do to survive, let alone to thrive. It's all illusionary. It's not true. And it's something that we've all unfortunately been conditioned by, unless you choose to turn away and see the value of your pure nature, your internal nature, the gift that you are. And even being the gift of the ambition, to have the ambition to fight the good fight, to get in there and scrap with the best of them, but knowing that your energy is well more reserved, conserved, and invested otherwise. That's also a gift in itself. That is enlightening in itself, to know that you could literally come and knock, literally wipe the floor with all of these dudes, but you still maintain your position of grace and contentment for what you bring to the table, the value of your passion purely. Because it can get real tainted, jumbled up into that. You can find yourself doing things that you don't even want to do just to keep up with the competition, let alone to get ahead of it, This is the pure way out, the fast track indeed. Absolutely, it didn't seem like the fast track for a lot of people that were focused on the wrong energy. But this is the fast track, not really so much because it gets you there fast. Maybe perhaps it would have if not for the interference in the realm, i.e. through that devil energy, pointing us all in the wrong direction. But certainly now, if never before, and definitely because once you connect yourself, you get into this energetic flow, you're unstoppable. You can't, literally, there's nothing that can hold you back. No illusions, no delusions, no falsehoods, no frequencies of jealousy, envy, competition, deceit, not even within your own self, because you're in your own lane, and that literally is the fast lane. And it don't even matter what the speed limit truly is, because when you're in your own lane, no matter how fast or slow you may appear to be going, it's a direct destination. It's a direct trajectory that it's like it ain't no limit. It ain't no speed limit, let alone limit at all, because you're enjoying yourself all along the journey. You know what I mean? Like, that's the energy here. So you would want to reject anything that is not of the essence of the supreme force, which is the Ace of Cups. If the Ace of Cups ain't evident here in this array of choices, this variety, then it's a no thank you. I don't care. And that's sometimes the illusion as well, to almost limit your choices to make you feel like, well, this is the best you can do. And it's like, no, it's not. I know I can do better than that. Like, even in love, as we're talking about a potential connection here, to feel like the pickings are slim and like you got to kind of just settle and go for what the best option may present itself to be, or the first choice. Like, no, this is a high value queen here. She ain't just any old, and that was the 10 of Cups. She ain't just any old body, like, no. And she, of course, ain't just accepting any old thing, for sure. Hence, perhaps why the energy of the King of Wands is so contemplative about what he brings to the table and what he has to offer. But look at this, Wheel of Fortune. It's already written. It's already done with the Justice card, with Jesus Christ, with the Temperance, with the... Stop it. Is that Judgment? Oh, my God. With Judgment, with the Star card. What is this about? What's this? Oh my goodness. Wow. With the Wheel of Fortune on the board. This is the destiny here. It's justified, it's fair, it's in order with what has been sown. That's why the Justice card is here. Like, this is not just fly by night Wheel of Fortune jackpot energy where it's like, oh, you won a new car type of thing, but you didn't do nothing to get it. Like sweepstakes. It's not, it is that, but it's not that. It's saying that this has been, oh my gosh, it's too much. It's like overwhelming. That this is something that was worked for, in addition to the fact that it's destined by the universal order, but definitely destined by an individual perspective and projection, because this is something that you had to be in an alignment, a healed alignment to receive. You had to have been able to alchemize these cups, these choices, these energies that were coming to you. Even the moon card, those deep-seated emotions and psychological waters that we've had to wade through. You've had to be in alignment with celestial force and source to be able to illuminate the truth of who you are, that essence of you, what needs to be reformed, what needs to be filtered out, perhaps, what is, of course, nourishment, what needs to be poured out altogether. That's the energy here. That's why this is justified, because you took those, I don't even know what to call it. Like you accepted that invitation. That's what it comes like. This is the judgment, that horn blowing, calling you to some higher experience of life beyond the fray. Again, beyond the fray of what's been very easy to contend with and be conditioned by. You accepted that higher perspective and followed that path wherever it guided to, by way of following what was true to your integrity. That's the North Star here. And that's leading to the 10 of Cups, which is ultimate wish fulfillment, happiness, joy, harmony, peace, a legacy of love and light and luxury. There it's all of that there. Oh my goodness, that was so unexpected. Man. And this 10 of Pentacles is making everything that you think you left behind or that you used to find value in seem so small. It seems so small and compared, like even the cups, small in comparison. This may not even be enough when we're talking about the potential of the 10. Yeah, like the 10 of Cups and then the 10 and the Page of Pentacles. It's like the standards have been raised because your vibration has been raised. So to even contend with old perspectives of the world, let alone yourself, is like wasted energy. It goes nowhere for anyone but the ones that want to project it. This is what they have to offer. This Page of Pentacles vibration to someone that has a 10 of Pentacles potential. It's illusion. And in the moment, consider the King of Wands is not the King of Pentacles, right? In the moment, it could almost seem like this might be something worth taking or something of value to get him on the track to say the Queen of Pentacles vibration. But like I said, it's an illusion. This is like hustling. That's what I just heard. Like this is that, you know what I mean? Like to be the kingpin to her queen pin, to bring to the table this 10 of Pentacles, but it's like going through that method of madness of which you probably have either averted your passion for or just been, completely detoured to some other way. It's just what's natural. Like I said, it's what has come natural. It's what's been in the environment. It's what's been readily available. Even not even enjoying it, because as we've already said, you can't even feel safe in that environment. There's so much illusion there. There's so much behind the scenes and so much at risk with the Moon card here that you just won't even be able to see coming. And then all to get down to the Page of Pentacles, when you had the potential for the 10 and the Queen and the Sun and the Wheel of Fortune, which is jackpot, even more than what you bargained for, ordained by Spirit by way of the Justice, the Judgment, the Star, the 10 of Cups, not just the material to match the vitality, but the spirit, the the happiness, the joy. Like, this is the energy here. It's like, no, get away from that. Come out of that. And it don't have to be hustling by like the sense of, I'm from the hood. So, it don't have to be literally like hustling to the point of, yeah, you know what hustling means, trapping or doing anything. It's like taking any type of risk for like taking the opportunity for prosperity that's at a high risk with ultimately a low return, and even if the return is quick with the Wheel of Fortune, this is a great connection here, because with the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy can even give you a whole hell of a lot at your fingertips, a windfall, almost feeling lucky. But if you're not in the right mentality to maintain it and magnify it, it's like winning the lottery today and losing it all in a year or less than, you know what I mean? Like, that's the energy here. Like, you could hit a hell of a lick, become the kingpin overnight, multiple sets and spots, and the operation is flourishing. But first of all, you got to watch your back from the people that are around you. You never know what's coming. And in the end, when the chips all fall, as in that Tower card that we also led with in the beginning, you won't even have much to show for your efforts. You'll do all of that, invest, like I said, wasted energy. You'll invest all that energy into something that is so fleeting and so unstable and unreliable in the end. It's like, nah. And the people, and this is like a confirmation card right here. And the people that want to keep him trapped up in it is because it's like people that want to keep you trapped up in things that are not for your highest vibration are just really feeling it's only for their own personal gratification. Like, if we keep it in the realm of the hustling mentality, it's because you got the game figured out. You got the connects. You know what I mean? You got the plugs. It's your operation. You've done the footwork, the legwork, considering, like, I loved Snowfall. It took me a real long time to get into it. I didn't watch it until it was like 4 seasons in or something like that. But when I finally watched it, I was so engaged in it, first of all, because I can relate coming from where I come from, but just the perspective of the rise and the fall of particularly the Black man and urban man in extreme conditions, in those hostile conditions where he was even extremely smart and didn't have no business really getting caught up in that fast action. And how he transformed on account of it. He became something completely different than he was when he went in. He became a killer, a monster, ruthless, vengeful, like all these things. And then in the end, wanted to get back to this high value, clean hands, upright, legitimate man. But the same way he came in is exactly what it brought him back down to. And he had nothing to show for it in the end, not a dime. After all of that invested potential, energy, high value of intelligence and passion. Like, he had the drive, he was ambitious as hell, especially to get in at the time that he got in, and with the resource, like how he even hustled his way into the connect or to the plug was even like brilliant, so it's like all of that energy invested here that could have been invested here in something more enlightening and valuable, whereas he could have gone to school and became a professional or, went into real estate the way that he ended up doing it the dirty way. He could have went into it the clean way with much more value at hand. And because his mindset would have been elevated, he would have had the energy to maintain it. It wouldn't have like crumbled in his hands, like literally this Page of Pentacles, And it's like I said, people that want to keep you in that vibration, the homies around the way, they want to eat, they want to keep thriving, they want to keep growing. Really, they want the opportunity to one day snake you so they could take your position, so they can't altogether kill you because you're the key, you're the gateway. It's like people that hold on to your coattail knowing that this is something that ain't for no good, or maybe some of them that don't know is not for their good, because we had the Devil card, which is almost like an attachment or like an invasion of the organism, in a sense, where your lust, your greed, your obsessions, your possessions, your fears, limitations. Everything kind of takes over you and starts to navigate your choices for you if you don't take control back. This is somebody that has released themselves. And like I said, it don't have to be drugs. It don't have to be hustling by any diabolical means. It could just be engaging in risky behaviors for low reward. And the people that want to keep you there, the most, keep you engaged in that space, don't have anything of value to offer you. And the minute that you lose value to them, they're going to drop you like a bad habit. That's feminine and masculine energy alike. It just is coming up in this way. But as long as you're presenting yourself to be an asset, a powerful force for their objectivity, they'll praise you. They'll hold you up on a pedestal, all the while trying to find that 10 of swords opportunity to snake your ass the moment you get caught sleeping, literally sleeping with the moon card. This is spirit like trying to pull you away from all unnecessary risks, from all like potential for you to be caught up. And it could just be the mentality, the risk in your mind to think you got to live a certain way or do a certain thing. Yeah, this is the stability right here that peaked out earlier. The feel like you always got to be in survival mode. That's what it is. Plain and simple. This is spirit drawing us out of survival mode. The disparity here between the king, how I was going in about the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands, because this is the ambition to be in a stable, magnetic position. That's the ultimate, we don't want to work for the money. We want the money to work for us. We want to be able to, to be in that vibrational flow so that we don't have to do so much to gain so little. That's the energetic forces that be, spiritually and truthfully, don't really want a connection to that vitality, because then you don't become subservient to the order of society as it is and the way that it ultimately benefits the higher ups. Like if you watch Snowfall, it's like sickening the way that the government ultimately is what it came down to, was benefiting off of the crack epidemic. And then who got canned in the end? But the lower man on the totem pole that was really just trying to survive, but ultimately didn't even know he was helping to advance a greater agenda, a quite diabolical one. As we know, the crack epidemic was infused by government officials between ourselves and Latin American countries, and it was for the purposes of funding a war that more or less didn't even have anything to do with the man who ended up being the greatest casualty in the end, and still to this day is, because a lot of those men that went to jail on account of that time period still have struggled to maintain, if they're not dead, first of all, let's go there, but they have struggled to carry on that legacy of love and light, as in the 10 of Cups, to attain it, let alone maintain any semblance of it. Because once you come out with such a record, all the chips are stacked against you. First off, you get no thanks or appreciation for your service to the country, doing what you did, taking the risk that you made, being the real foot soldiers on the land that funded something beyond you, unbeknownst to you. And then your family struggles. You can't even pass on generational wealth by way of that 10 of Pentacles or that 10 of Cups if you tried, because you can't even hardly get a job because of your record. You can't get respect because of your past. You can't materialize productively because of the PTSD you experienced when you were behind bars or on account of what you engaged in on the street. Like I said, what was his name? Saint. Franklin Saint. Interesting, right? Even his name. Franklin Saint and Snowfall, how he went in with an ambition to just help his mom. His mom was struggling. The dad, was the dad there at first? No, the dad had mental health issues on account of, I think, his suffering in the war. So it's like, the trickle down effect, So he wasn't available to be a provider and stability for his family because he was fighting his own battles of PTSD. And then the mom was kind of struggling, going to school, trying to do it the honest way, but struggling all along between himself to raise himself. And I think he did have a sibling. I can't think of it right now, but trying to keep the household together the honest way. And then here comes this grand opportunity that wasn't so grand in the end, right? So he took it for the incitement to help save his legacy, save his family, survive, literally survive, you know? And that's been the epidemic in this country, particularly for poor people, specifically for people of color, since I don't even, since as far as long as I've been on this earth, for sure, in this body, like it may, you know, may even be lifetimes and lifetimes beyond that, but certainly for as long as I've been in this body and have been cognizant of what's going on in this country, this has been the reality. And this is the evolution that we're all being called to. That world card came out like to turn over a new leaf of life, a new existence, to release ourselves from those limitations, that energy that wants to keep you pinned down, to feel like you could never do enough to survive, let alone to thrive. You're never doing enough to live your best life. There's always more. You're not enough. You always got to sacrifice more. You need to be in this place. Like nothing is ever good enough where you are. Like even in my meditation today, as I said, I had this amazing download. And before I could allow that to really fully saturate my being, it's like, okay, now what? What do I do with that? What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? And it's like, if I wasn't grounded a certain type of way, I could get out here and just start doing anything, you know what I mean? Like just trying to see what sticks to the wall. But the energy that we're looking to be, that's looking to infuse with us, for our best good, is to be open to the reproduction of our own vitality, what already exists within us, with that seed that's already been sown as we, the gift, are already, if that makes sense. I know that's a lot and it sounds kind of like, you know, what a haughty-taughty or whatever, but you know what I'm trying to say, that we are the gift. There's not much that we ever needed to do. Like even with this energy here, like he didn't need to prove himself. If anything, he felt he had to depreciate his value. That's the trick of the devil itself, the adverse force. That's the energy that's been working overtime in spirit and in truth, from an intimate perspective, as in close quarters between family and friends, and even from a national and perhaps even universal perspective, from energies beyond our idolization, you know, that we can even conceptualize, that want to be in resistance to this divine force in this earth finally manifesting as it perhaps was always meant to do so. We're getting out of survival mode. It's time to thrive. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. It's the old tricks of pushing you back up against the wall to make you feel like you're obligated to a certain thing a certain way to do. Like even with the hustle, like him feeling like him going to school and taking the so-called long route wouldn't have been immediately gratifying to get his family to move ahead successfully. Like really feeling like your back is up against the wall to do things that are out of alignment with your integrity just to breathe in this realm. That ain't right. It ain't right. And that's why justice and judgment came up that way, because it was never supposed to truly be like that. Not to the extent that it has been. It's been the powers that be, that Ace of Wands card has been overexerting its power, and it's supposed to bend times up for that. We're supposed to have been evolved as a creation at this point in time, and there's been an abuse of power to keep that evolution from occurring naturally, and spirit is just not. That was the Ace of Cups. Spirit is not here for it. And that was the that it almost came out too. I wish it had the King of Pentacles. Spirit ain't here for it no more. So anybody that's in alignment with that energy, yeah, like it's a new day, so you better find a new way. Okay? Of course, I'm not taking any of this, but it's a new day. You better find a new way. That Tower card was prevalent for a reason. I didn't really get into it because it kind of speaks for itself, but in this moment is reflecting back to the fate of those that want to continue to operate in that old world order. It's not, yeah. If you're not going to be on this vibe of your highest frequency, you're going to be extinguished in some way, shape, or form. You're either going to exterminate yourself to some degree because you won't be able to hang with the frequency that the planet is rising to, or it's going to be done for you one way or another. It's like the difference between manipulation and manifestation now. This is manipulation, even when you feel you have to do a thing. It's manipulation when it's going against integrity, against divine order, against evolution, against the greatest good of all. It's manifestation when you're working in tandem with those forces, in the flow, doing what comes naturally to you, answering to the call of your spirit before your physical, and then allowing that energy to filter through to incite your actions accordingly, breaking through the fog internally, externally, seeing the illusions for what they are, and then choosing to live in the light. It's a choice, This is the difference between that alchemical energy here that we possess even as human beings. You possess it on a level even such as the Temperance card, which I think did pop out at one point in time. I think. Was it in that array that spread? I can't remember. But this is the physical expression of the Temperance energy, where you have all the resources on hand and at your disposal and upon request to do what you are divined and designed to do. You don't have to do anything. The illusion that you have to do anything to survive is a projection, a falsehood, to delude you into feeling like your vitality is at risk. The contrary is that your vitality is at risk when you're doing what's out of alignment with your truth. All you got to do is call it into play, call it into existence, and most importantly, use what you have. If it's money, if it's energy, if it's time, if it's passion, if it's purpose, if it's ambition, if it's drive, use it. Don't subdue it. Use it, and you'll be able to create whatever it is you put your mind to without having to risk your life to do it. Period. Let's see what's under here. The Empress. My God, my God. And the Empress in this form, again, is speaking to the masculine and feminine energy, because it's like really taking what the universe gives you and being reproductive with it. That's the synergy between these energies, and that's masculine and feminine and masculine. It's not limited to one or the other, because we're all in that position of fertility in spirit and in truth, with your ideas, with your passions, with your purpose, your friends, the good ones, the good friends and family and support systems that you have, your education, your work experience, your life experience, the good, bad, and indifferent, like taking everything that you've been given and making something productive of it, that you're that fertile that you literally can take any experience, any expression, any vitality that's implanted within you and make something amazing of it. The Empress is eternally fertile. She's never short of ideas. She's never short of capacity to hold, like, she got birthing hips, okay? Like, that's how I could explain it practically. Like, how they say you got them good birthing hips, it's like you have the capacity to bring anything to life, because the energetic force within you is purified in that way. And no shade to anyone, because I don't mean this diabolically, but some people can't produce in a natural sense, biologically. But we can all produce ideas, and and consider the difference between those that can and can't, even in a physical way. There's usually some deficiency internally or some reproductive disorder, unfortunately, that would prevent someone from bringing life forth through their physical being. And that's no shade to anyone. God bless you indeed. And there are miracles and yet to be performed if you're believing for it. Case in point with the Empress and the Magician here right now. But what I'm saying is to make the point that when you consider that in the biological form and the spiritual form, there can be deficiencies in the spirit and your mindset and your focus and your vision, even in your environment, because sometimes that can be a thing, like you're in your environment, what you're ingesting and what you're connected to, what you're procreating with, because sometimes it's not even the feminine as much as it is the masculine, that something's up with the seed. And here it is that even in the spiritual sense, you have to present yourself fertile to be a surrogate for the spirit itself, in spirit and in truth, as a matter of fact. To be able to bring ideas to full term, to carry it, first of all, amidst a hell of a lot. You know what a woman goes through when you're pregnant. It's like nothing short of a miracle. I still am astounded by it, and I've done it, and then to actually bring that life force into this realm, into existence, breathing, living, existing, having its own lifespan, its own possibilities, its own potential itself naturally. That's no small feat, whether we're talking about an idea or a vision, a business, whatever the ambition may be, or we're talking about an actual living, breathing person. One is no more important than the other in this realm, especially when you're meaning for it to be a productive force. You're meaning to bring high value life into this realm, because we damn sure got enough of the lower vibration. People just doing things for money, or doing things for survival, or doing things because they feel like they have to, or having babies to keep people or trap people, or having babies for the social aspect of it, or the projection of it, which people do, like just to be one in the number of those that have a baby when you just don't even need to be a mom type of vibe. Like there's so many disparities between those that are truly fertile in a magnificent sense and those that are downright barren to some degree. There's a great disparity there. But we all have some capacity to bring life, even to unfortunately deficient or babies that have a great disorder or defect. And God loves that as well, and God's in divine relation. But again, to make the point, it's like, it's still a disparity here. So whatever it is that you get to bring to life, what matters most is that you're doing it in the intention of it being its most high vibrational and of the highest frequency possible. Because I was saying that to say that even an empress that doesn't mean well can bring things to life that are deficient in their fullest potential, or that in some regards don't have any value at all. Like it's energy going on around here where people bring life into this world just to sacrifice it, just to abuse it, just to disform it in some kind of way. So there's that. This moon card, this sun card, there's polarity here for a reason, and it's in the right spaces if you really get into it. So I'm just in celebration today for this energy here, because this speaks a lot for us to end on the Lovers, and also for the Magician and the Empress card. First of all, that can also even speak to the vitality of these energies here coming together on a now even more elevated scale and on a more exalted scale, where the King of Wands thought he just had passion, and look, he's got everything. You thought you didn't have a pentacle. Look, you got it. You got the sword, you got the cup. The Empress, as I said, was fertile in her own right, tended to her own little garden, and lo and behold, she's then gave birth to a whole kingdom, a whole empire, So it's like advancement is in the realm in the most supreme sense. The Wheel of Fortune is here. That means that it's happening beyond belief, beyond containment, beyond expectation, beyond your limitation for you to even conceive or perceive it, beyond your time frame of what you think it should have been or what it gets to be. This is like divine timing at play, which is even more accelerated, as a matter of fact, now in the realm than it's ever been before. You may have thought it was going to take a certain long, was a long route. Like I say here with the King of Wands, you're taking the long way, thinking it's the short way, when actuality, Spirit is trying to accelerate you to some dimension beyond the span of time itself. It's like that's what's in the realm right now. And we are privy to the posture of productivity, co-creativity, and procreation in this time in a very natural and actual way, and certainly in a spiritual and even supernatural way. Just continue to keep your mind cleansed, your womb pure, your seed pristine. Don't be spraying it out here on anything and in anybody. Don't be busting it open for anybody and anyone. And I mean that in every way, shape, and form. Not even limited to masculine and feminine biology, but literally guard your seed and your womb like your life depends on it, because in fact it does. Not just your life now, but your legacy that lives beyond you, and perhaps even eternal life if you can get into it. So I pray you can, because this is a powerful message that I think I haven't even really touched the surface on, but I hope that the Spirit speaks to you even more deeply than I could transmit at this time. And until next time, with all this being said, I do wish you all the best in whatever it is you're working on and whatever intel you're receiving, and your temperance to put it into action in just the right moment in time that's divine to you, okay? Working in the design that you were created for, in spirit and in truth. It is so, and so it is. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.